What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, Yak Nasty Fishing. And man, I feel like it's been forever since I got to talk to y'all about some fishing. I think it's been about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, but I thank you all for being here. And if you're new here and you love to talk fishing, you like digging down those rabbit holes, or you want to learn something new, or you're just starting to learn how to fish, man, stick around. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. And if you got questions, put them down in the comment section. I can make a whole video answering your question. Okay? And if I don't have an answer, most of the time I do. But if I don't, I will find that answer. That's a fact, y'all. So before we get started in this episode, which is going to be about why some people aren't really catching fish right now, I got some reasons why, and I also have the solutions to those reasons. But before we get into the video, I want to do a local business shout out because in my Dover, Delaware area, we have local businesses, small businesses, and I love to support my small town people, my entrepreneurs, and my just hardworking hustlers, man. I mean, I'm just going to keep it real with you. If you have the wherewith and the know-how to start your own business and you know what it takes, man, it's non-stop. It's not an 8-hour shift and go home. It is 24/7. So, support your local businesses, get out there, shop around, and just tell them they're appreciated, because we're losing more and more small businesses each and every year due to a lot of different things going on out here. But I'm not going to get into that because Lord knows that will be its own video. So I'm shouting out a local business, the House of Coffee. Yeah, man, this little quaint, quiet place, all right, is awesome, man. You can get whatever coffee you would like to get in there, man. They got specialty drinks and brews, all right. You can get your average mocha latte, which is my favorite. They have one called the Powerhouse, which may be my new favorite, to be honest with you. Oh, man, it's like a chocolate milkshake and a latte. You mix it together. Dude, you can drink your coffee and you don't even got to worry about being hungry, at least until lunchtime when you get out there on that water. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, if you're in the Dover, Delaware area, or you're riding through Delaware, check them out right in Dover, Delaware, right on Lockerman Street, near the Green, all the courthouses, Legislative Mall. So if you're a tourist, come around, take some pictures, stop at the House of Coffee and get you one of them brews, man. Cold brew, hot brew, they got you. Check them out. Yeah, man. So with the shout out the way, y'all, let's get into talking some fishing. Now, what brought it up for me, guys, was the fact that the last couple times I was out, I've been out, dude. We've been doing some tournament stuff, so I can't wait to show you that. I know I'm behind in tournament footage, Lord knows, but I'm going to definitely start pushing all that stuff out. I think I got some more time coming up where I can sit in my office, edit this video, do what I'm going to do, and push it out, okay? Without any warning, I'm just going to push it, okay, guys? But yeah, your boy been out there doing his thing, fishing. The fish have been biting. But what brought me to this topic, man, was I was down at my home lake, my local home lake. You know, you guys know, and if you don't know, that's Silver Lake, Dover, Delaware. Um, I'm down at my home lake, getting off the water, you know what I mean? And another guy pulls up. He's got his little bass boat, man. It was nice. It was nice. But he pulls up. He's frustrated. He's flustered. You know what I mean? He's going to get his truck. He's going to pull the boat out. He's just done for the day, right? And he told me, there ain't no bass in this lake. That's what he said, y'all. Yeah, the very place I won that trophy, and that trophy right there. The very place, y'all. He said, man, there ain't no fish in here. I don't know. They lied to me, right? Now, there's some other words going on, but he wasn't feeling it. He wasn't feeling it. And so I said, hey, man, there's biggins in here, right? He looks at me. Now, I didn't help, did I? I know. But I said, man, there's biggins in here, man. It's all good. I was like, what you doing out there? He told me a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I was listening. And I gave him a couple suggestions. I hope he went back out there and caught some fish. I don't know. I didn't know him. I don't, know him personally, so I just don't know. But I do believe if you listen to the tips that I gave him, if he went back out there, he's going to catch some. And he's going to catch some nice ones. He's probably going to catch numbers. That day was a decent day. I caught fish. I was catching, but they weren't giants. I didn't catch any giants that day. But I was on them 16 inches, got an 18-incher, about 4-pounder just about. And that was probably the biggest one that day, but I caught numbers. I was catching them. I was throwing over there. It was like I couldn't miss. It was like, oh, they got to be there. One has to be over there. That's how I was fishing. Of course, guys, we all know I sometimes fish a little slow, especially if it's not nope, take that back. I fish slow in general. I like to pick things apart. So I gave him some advice, right? Here and there. And that's what really got me on the topic, because when you got a guy frustrated and he's telling you, okay, and he didn't know he was talking to me, the guy that won the state championship on that body of water. He didn't know. He just knew I was a guy in a kayak bass fishing, right? And normally when guys ask, say, hey man, you been catching them? I say, yeah, man, I got on a few. And that's normally about it. Or they ask, what am I throwing? I'll tell them what I'm throwing, stuff like that. But I don't be like, hey man, I was catching thousands of fishes out there over there. If you go over there, I caught 1,000 fishes and I caught them all. I don't know why you're not catching fish. Nah, that's the wrong approach to do things. You know what I mean? People ask those questions because they want to learn. And I noticed he wasn't the only one with the question. When I got totally off and got my truck loaded up, I had a couple kids come ask me also, how are you catching the fish? How do you catch bass, right? Trying to learn some things. So I'm going to give you guys 3 of the biggest reasons, just my personal opinion, on why guys aren't catching fish right now and how you can fix this problem today. Okay? You can take this, what I just said to you, go out tomorrow. You can go out after watching this and go catch fish, as long as there's fish there. All right. Now, if you throwing somewhere where there ain't no fish, you're not going to catch fish, even with the best bait on the planet, because there's nothing there to bite it. All right. So reason number 1, while you or a friend may not be catching bass, this is a very simple one: bait storage. Yeah, guys. Yeah. A lot of guys know by now that if you've been fishing for a while, keep your bait in the original packs, all right? All the oils and juices are in there, and those packs are actually manufactured to hold those baits the way they're holding those baits, okay? Yeah, exactly. All right. Now, let me just be honest with you. I used to buy my soft plastics, right? And I would take those soft plastics and load them into a 3500 series box or smaller, 2500, whatever the plastics were. I would take plastics and take them out of their package with all the juices and put them in that hard case. Now, this was before tournament fishing. It wasn't that long ago. I'm probably going to say 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe. I would buy a new pack of baits. I would put that baits in a Plano box. Guys, that's not the way to do it. Yeah, I had to find out a very crazy way that wasn't the way to do it. And I found out by buying a pack of Z-Mans, taking the Z-Mans, putting them in a Plano box. Came back to that Plano box, and Z-Man was not the man. It was elastic goop. Yeah, yeah, it was bad. If you mess around with the Z-Man, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You put them on the tailgate of your truck, man, they melt like Hershey Kisses. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn, and I learned that way. Okay, guys. So bait storage is key. And when I say bait storage, not just, your Z-Man stuff. I mean all of it. All your soft plastics, all your baits. your spinner baits, okay? Your chatter baits, because those blades, they can get bent if you put them in one of those little packs with a bunch of junk on top of them, all right? You know, your blades, your spinner baits. Yeah, those arms on them things get bent. You can bend stuff, man. You can tear them up, and then trying to bend it back, you can make the problem worse. All right, guys, bait storage is key. These, right, Crush City Mayors, you see they come in a clamshell. That is to preserve the shape of this bait, guys. Those clamshells, keep them in the clamshells. Don't take them out. Don't transfer them to a plastic bag, okay? Because some of them come like this. And one question is, how many of these are going to work the way they're supposed to? All right. You see the tails all bent. You see what's going on there? So these, if you don't take them out, line them up, straighten them out, you know, let them get back to their straightness. You take one of these out the package right now. Let's see if we can find a bent tail. You know, you got a bent tail somewhere. See, look at that. Look, that's what you got. So you're going to be throwing something that, I mean, the action, I don't know, it might get bit, but it might not, y'all, because it's been stored in this here plastic bag, a little Ziploc baggie. All the pressure and weight of all the baits and everything else that it's around, that's what you end up with. You end up with bent tails, right? Like a Zoom Super Fluke, right? Same thing, man. If you don't get those, like, you can buy a pack. I mean, they're affordable, they're cheap, right? But you're probably only going to be able to use 50% of those. And this is just being, you know, quite modest about how many you're going to be able to fish that are actually straight. Now, I tend to throw all of them. I'm going to throw every single one of those, bent or straight. I'm throwing them. Now, sometimes that affects the bite. All right. So bait storage is key, man. Don't take those plastics out. Even like the lizard, you don't have to worry about it so much, you know, stuff like that. Some of your bug baits, like your Googans that come in clamshells, keep them in the clamshell, guys, because they'll be all flicked, they'll be turning, they'll be twisting your line up. They're going to cause a problem down the line, and you're not going to be happy when you really are trying to catch those fish. Okay, you're just not going to be happy. You're going to wonder why these fish aren't biting. It's because your presentation doesn't look edible. It looks fake, right? So bait storage is a big one, but it's a very simple one, and it's easy to mess up. All right, so bait storage, guys. Bait storage. Watch how you store those baits, and then if you have to, you got to save maybe a couple extra bucks to get the packages or the bags that you want for your soft bags. You got your hard stuff, you know, your hard baits. And, you know, I still store like top water hard baits right there, you know, wake bait, stuff like that. I'll throw those hard baits in that plain old box. All right, guys. So yeah, bait storage. So guys, number 2 of why you may not be catching fish today, all right, or yesterday, or last week. It's a big one. It's a big one. A lot of people overlook it. A lot of people underlook it. I don't, you know, hey, it is what it is. But number 2 is bait selection. Yeah, guys. Yeah. See, if you're new at fishing, bait selection sometimes can be tricky because you watch this video, you watch that video, you read this, you read that. And so your mind is full of all these ideas and knowledge that you just kind of picked up and was like, I got it all now. What do I do with it? And I see guys out there sometimes throwing baits that I just would say, man, I would not be throwing that today. All right. It's 38 degrees outside in the middle of winter. I don't think you're going to get the frog bite you're looking for. Right. Or, you know, bluebird skies, hard bite. These fish don't seem to be wanting to bite. I don't know about running a 1.5 KVD, out in the middle of nowhere while the sun's at high noon and I'm running this thing 3 foot under the surface as if something's there way out in the middle where nothing is. All right, guys. So It's bait selection, all right? When it comes down to bait selection, keep it simple, okay? A lot of times when I'm going somewhere for the first time, what I will do, to be honest with you, is throw a minnow. Can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong with a minnow. Get you a 3-inch minnow and a 5-inch minnow or a 4-inch, right? But I'm always getting a 3-inch. And I may, like in this case, this week coming up, I'm going to throw a 5-inch because I just got some in from Driftwood Baits and I can't wait to test those things out where I'm going to be fishing. So, yeah, I'm going to throw one of those, a 5-inch, and then I'm going to throw a 3-inch. Yeah, my first time going somewhere, that's what I'm doing. Everything eats bait fish. All right. And then on top of that, since I'm, using a presentation that's moving, action, swimming, I'm going to also pick something that doesn't swim, or I can choose to swim or not. So now, one of those minnows is going to be Texas rigged, and the other one is going to be on a jig head, right? So the very bait that I slow down, let's say it's a soft plastic, let's say I'm using a bandito bug, I'm Texas rigging that. Yeah, that's the only way I'm going to do it because I'm throwing that in the junk. I'm going to throw that over here. I'm going to put that over there. Now, depending on water depth and stuff like that, depends on what weight I'm going to use and how I'm going to use it or fish it. But let's say I'm fishing my local lake right now. Well, I'm probably going to go weightless because it's shallow. It's every area that I'm going to be fishing is going to be nowhere near 10 foot or more. All right. So everything's going to be 10 foot or less is what I'm fishing. So I'll put a weightless plastic on, and then I may put a lightly weighted plastic on, 1/8 ounce, 16th ounce, right? See what that fall does. Does it make fish bite more aggressively, slower, or faster? Play with those. But this is my first time on the body of water, right? So this is what I'm going to do, right? And it looks like I'm using 4 different baits, but in all actuality, I'm not. I'm probably using 2 to 3 different baits. Now, the minnows may be different or they may be the same because if I'm running a 3-inch Kitech, sometimes I'll run a little bit bigger Kitech on another one. Or, my slower baits, let's say I'm using a jig right here, then I'm throwing the bandito bug right here, okay? Yeah, right? I'm not using a whole big variation of baits. Okay, I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to use the minnow to search, and I'm going to use my slow down baits to pick off. Now, when I find the fish with the minnow, and then I throw this bandito bug up in there, and there's no bites, but then I throw the minnow back out and I get another bite, then let me try a different plastic, not that bandito bug. Let me throw this jig up there by that tree or in that bush there, that lay down or something. Maybe that's what they're going to be in tune to. And then you're going to find out what those fish are biting, okay, in comparison to what you're throwing, and you just change up. Well, once you find the fish, now you can find out what is going to draw those fish to bite, and then you're going to expand on that and find out what the bigger fish are biting versus the smaller fish, guys. So bait selection is a huge deal. And if you don't know, guys, keep it simple. Start off with that minnow, okay? Start off with a crawl on a Texas rig and just throw it up near stuff. Keep it natural. Go ahead, green pumpkin works everywhere. Black and blue works everywhere. Black with red flake works everywhere. Switch those things up, but try to keep it natural. Okay, so the first time I go somewhere, I'm gonna throw a natural looking presentation. All right, so if I learn that they eat, shad here, sorry, but if I learn they eat shad over here, I'm gonna throw this Crush City Mayor. It's a natural looking presentation. All right, they're chasing shad. I get a bite. Okay, there's fish here. What else can I throw? What else can I get these fish to bite? Are they gonna bite a jerk bait? Are they gonna bite this? Now I can find out these fish and break them down. But bait selection, I had to start simple. So yeah, guys, number 2 is bait selection, and that's a biggie. That's a biggie. So pay attention to the bait you're selecting. Pay attention to the weather, your surroundings. What are you seeing? What did you read about the body of water? What did you hear about the body of water? And compile all that information into something that you can manage. All right. Like in a kayak, we got super big bodies of water that we go jump on. And we have to turn this big body of water into this small piece of body of water with hopefully the winning fish in it, right? So, so go out there, keep it simple, minimize things. Don't try to wrap your mind around it. Minimize that to fit the mind, all right, and your concepts and your theories. And then go to break it down. Okay, guys? Bait selection, number 2. Number 3. And to me, this is one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, all right, why you're not catching fish today. All right, guys. This is like the biggest thing right here on this video. Human touch. Yeah. When you get out there, you ever just grab a bait like I just did right there, and you're touching all on it, right? The human touch. Natural oils coming from your fingers right here. You're just doing this. You're just doing this. Now, I'm going to put this bait to the side because I have a hack to fix this problem. But I'm going to tell you what the problem is first. You're touching your bait. Now, this one might got a little oils on it. Stinks. Smells like plastic, though, but stinks. Got a little scent. So you think it's good because you just touched it. You got oils on your fingers. You just touched it. You touched it. Then and you throw it out there. Now, you know that this minnow works. Oh, man, oh, so good. Everywhere you go, it works, man. But you threw this out, and it's not getting any bites. Yeah, that's a problem. Now, you're wondering, what do you mean human touch? We got to touch it. We got to put the baits on the hooks. This is what we do. I watch guys do it all the time. I see the pros doing it. I see my local fishermen doing it. I see guides doing it. Everybody's touching the bait. What do you mean the human touch? So based on the science, you touching the bait, the oils from your hands, your natural scent, that's really, really bad. Because fish, their sense of smell, based on science, is 1,000 times greater than yours and mine. Yeah. So what I just did right there, just imagine how far they're smelling this bait from. 1,000 times greater. Okay? But not only that, not only is their sense of smell crazy impeccable, I mean, that's way more than a bloodhound, to be honest. Not only that, guys, they have these ports on their snouts called nares. Yeah, not nostrils. It's not like a nose. See, I just told you about their sense of smell, which is totally separate from what I'm talking about right now. It's called nares. Yeah, little U-shaped pits right along the snout there. And right now, they probably do work a little conjunction with the nostrils, right, on the snout of the fish. But nares are not nostrils, guys. Don't get those confused. Not nares are small pits, right, that are connected to a sensory organ called rosettes. So these nares, they got a little flappy flap thing, and probably like a little hair thing, where the water goes in through and out through. It's not like a nostril. It doesn't come in and go out the gills, none of that. It has nothing to do with breathing, with smelling, all right? Any of those functions. Nares and the sensory organ they're connected to, called rosettes, they're not tied to any of that. Their only purpose is to detect chemicals in the water. That's it. That's the only purpose. Only purpose. And you can best believe they pick up every single chemical in the water, y'all. In every single one. There's not a chemical they don't pick up. That is that function of the nares, okay? To just pick up chemicals. Send that message to the brain, and the brain decides, hey, that's bad, or that's a bird, mainly mammalian, I guess. It's mainly for mammalian creatures. So let's say a bear, all right? In the case of the 1950s study done by Canadian researchers, all right, it's D. Kennan and J.R. Brett. Had to look at my notes right there. So D. McKinnon and J.R. Brett, two Canadian researchers in the 1950s, did a study on this particular thing, all right? Specifically, they went out with 54 chemicals, okay? 54 chemicals. Tested these chemicals in the water, all right? Ranging from DEET to ammonia to, it's 54 chemicals. That's a lot of chemicals. I'm not gonna name them all, but all those chemicals and chemicals that you even know of today, okay? So they go and test all this stuff out. And they come to find that what mammals produce is the highest, has the highest repel rate out of all those chemicals. Yeah, even DEET, it outbeats DEET. It outbeats, a sulfur, okay? It outbeats all the other chemicals, okay? It beat everything. And that chemical that we produce is called L-serine. Yeah. So in this study, right, they put a little L-serine in the water, right? The salmon, it was tested on salmon, okay? The salmon heading upstream, okay, guys, smelt the L-serine, and dude, their brains said, oh, hell no. These salmon turned around. Now they're going to spawn. They diverted their spawn. They turned around, guys, started trying to go back up the fish ladder to get away from what they perceive to be a bear upriver, guys. That's compelling. And that research, not only did it open the door to, basic chemical reaction in the water and what the fish really react to chemical wise. Yeah, what the fish react to chemically in the water. It also showed us that the human touch, this right here, is killing your fishing game. It's killing it. You touched all on it. Now, this is the crazy part. I'm not telling you guys to go out and put on your little nitrile gloves, your latex gloves, your vinyl gloves, all right? I'm not telling you got to wear gloves to do some fishing, but I am going to say that is one of the biggest reasons I feel that people are not catching fish. Okay? But you can remedy that. You can remedy that if you're wondering. Yeah, you can. You can fix that. And there's a couple different things out there, people that tell you, oh, put the fish scent on your hands first, then touch the... No, sir. Don't put those chemicals on your hands, even though most of them are all natural, like the anise oil or your garlic. You don't want to walk around smelling like that all day and then get off the water and then take a shower and still smell that smell. You don't want that, all right, guys? Now, this problem can be solved almost free. Almost free. This is almost. Now, if you're out on the road and you don't have access to this at home, it's not going to cost more than $2. Yeah, to fix this problem. All right. So before you go touching on your baits, don't wash your hands with the soap. Don't put the hand sanitizer on. No, sir. Rinse your hands off in the lake, the pond, the body of water right there. Yep. Rinse your hands off like that. Rinse. Dry your hands. Yes, I tend to use a dirty bait rag. That's what I do because my saltwater rags, sometimes I just throw them in the back of the truck, in the bed of the truck. When I'm done with them, I just throw them back there and eventually they'll find their way to the trash. But normally there's one back there. So I'll wipe my hands on that dry, crusty bait rag. You know what I mean? I got to be honest. And then I don't really take coffee grounds out, but you can do this. All right. You take your spent coffee grounds. They're already spent. You got them in a little sandwich bag. dip your fingers up in there like you're getting you a chaw tobacco. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna get you a little chaw and put it down in the lip. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. You know what I'm saying? So get down in and get that coffee grounds, all right? They're moist, all right? They're spent. They were in that bag. And you rub it in. Rub it in. Rub it. I mean, you're pretty much scrubbing. You want to get down in the crevices of your fingerprints. You want to get all up in there. Now, you're going to smell like some coffee bean, but I think that's better than garlic. I'm just going to be honest with you, man. So you scrub that in, scrub it in, scrub it in. I do not throw the coffee grounds in the water in stagnant pond water. It's very bad for the water. It can be if they're, trust me, that's a whole process. I think I'm gonna make a video about it. Coffee grounds, what you can do with them, and how you can destroy a body of water or how you can use them to your advantage. But yeah, there's a lot of research on that too. But scrub your hands down, okay? Because the nitrous, right? The nitrous inside the coffee grounds, inside caffeine, neutralizes the L-serine amino acid. Just like that, y'all. Just like that. Bam, you do this. Now, I like to shake it off. I mean, some of it's going to get in the water, which can be helpful. I'll tell you about that later on, though. Too much juice right now. Too much juice. Rinse those hands off, okay? I normally use the water that I'm at and rinse my hands off, okay? Just like that. And you're good to go. You neutralize the L-serine that is produced by your skin, gives you a chance to touch on your bait, hook it, set it, get it right, and throw it without a problem, okay? Now, if you don't get bit then it's probably because there's no fish there or they want something else. But if you're around fish, that'll get you the bite a lot quicker. All right, guys? And if you don't have coffee grounds, yeah, I told you, there's another little hack to it. I like to drink my coffee a little dark, all right? So not completely black all the time, but sometimes I'll get a second cup of coffee. Like if I have to leave out early morning, tournament morning, I'm not grabbing no coffee grounds. I'm not even brewing no coffee at 3 in the morning. I'm not doing it. No, sir. I will grab a coffee at my local Wawa's because my coffee house is still closed at that time. I will get me a cup of coffee at my local Wawa's, then I'll get a small cup of straight black coffee. Yeah. I don't normally show it, but I might as well just tell you about it. Get you a small little 12-ounce cup, take it with you, all right? You get to the water. Of course, by that time, the coffee should be cooled off. Don't do it when the coffee is hot. Just don't do it. Don't burn your hands. Then they're going to smell like something else. Probably hot flesh or something that's just not good. That has coffee to it. But let that coffee cool off. Let that black coffee get all the way cooled off. And on your way to the spot, you're going to get ready to do your fishing. You know what I mean? Keep that coffee with you. And then when you get there, or just before you get there, rinse your hands off. In that coffee, you don't need a whole lot. Okay, so I'm not saying pour the whole 12 right there. Rinse your hands off. The parts that's really going to touch your baits, which is your fingertips mostly. And then, sometimes I'll hold them in my palm if I'm doing something. So I normally just rinse my whole hands off. I wash my hands in coffee. All right. And you get a very good effect, very same or similar effect to masking the L-serine. Okay, it neutralizes, even though it is, wet coffee, right? It still works. It still masks the L-serine. And believe it or not, coffee scent really might help you. So, yeah, guys, that's really the three biggest reasons, in my opinion, on why you're not catching bass. If I'm just coming straight forward, that's some pretty big reasons, guys. So yeah, and let me add one more bonus tip. Less noise, okay? So if you're on a kayak, don't be beating and banging on your kayak. These fish, especially the pressured fish, they know these sounds. These sounds mean danger. That means clam up. They're not gonna bite, All right, so just be careful. Noise. If you're walking on the bank, don't stomp along the bank. Cast 20 yards away from the bank first, see what's out there before you walk up to that bank's edge, because the vibration, the noise, they can feel, they can hear. Okay, guys? So that's just the extra tip. Noise. Everybody should know that, but if you don't, noise. All right, guys. So, hey, if you enjoyed the content, if you liked it, if you learned something, hit like, hit subscribe. We're trying to grow this thing. We're trying to make this my full-time job so I can do this every day, 2 times a day. If you want, I'll do it. I will do it. Come on. I love talking fishing. We can talk this all day. Any questions? Leave your questions down in the comment section as well. Hey, man, until the next one, tight lines and all that good stuff everybody says. Peace.
That's right. That's
Ooh, wee.
right.
Clamshells.